You got a
Center Post is our parent company. They're the flagship.
okay.
Yeah. So Susan's not here. I would point out Susan. Anyway, this is our reception area, and when people are calling in, all our Zoom phone calls are actually taken here at this front desk. Kind of keep them in a holding pattern until we send them back here to the studio. So this is kind of step one for all the Zoom stuff. But follow me this way. We're going to turn right here. When we have live guests here in the studio, this is our green room. They can kind of hang out in here and get comfortable. We have some water and some snacks over here. We're not shooting live today, so we don't have everything on, but we usually will run videos up here of previous shows and kind of some instructional videos of what to expect when you get to go on. But it's just a place where people can relax and get to know each other and whatnot before we go in. Then here in the hallway, we have a lot of our guests which become partners with us, and we have a variety of business categories where people can get on here more times. We sell with a lot of interview packages, but again, we're a content marketing company, so we do a little bit of everything. And these guys have jumped in a big way with us. So come on down here again. Here's the map of everything we got going on. You are here, but then we have stuff all over the country with the 3 separate networks, radio and 2 TV networks. And then when you walk down the hall this way, you're back in here to our studios. And one thing we like to do, we have 2 different sets that we can kind of get different looks. Stand-up set over here. We've actually had magicians and musicians and stuff in here, so we kind of set this up like a lounge act deal. And then this is the main Studio A, as we say over here, with our genuine wood walls, which I always like to do this. Zoom in, zoom in. It's cloth walls, but it works. It's a lot cheaper, and we can change it around. One thing we take a lot of pride in, this is our autograph wall here. So we always try to get the guests as they're leaving to sign the wall, and we've had more than a few sign up here on the wall. I have a monitor over here to when we have a studio guest, we'll blow a picture up here behind them. Maybe if we get a lot of guests from Austin, we'll have a big state capital of Austin, or we'll have a Dallas skyline, a Fort Worth skyline, a beautiful shot of the entertainment district here in Arlington we put up. And then we have just generic Texas guests. We go with blue bonnets. Why wouldn't you? You know. And then back here, now this is, you're gonna have to figure this out. I'm not the techie guy.
Okay.
But here's all the equipment and everything that the producer uses to get everything looking as good as possible. He doesn't have a lot to work with starting with me initially, but you can kind of see all the stuff and see what he does. And he does all the production in here, and we actually even have the capabilities to where we'll interview a guest talking about their business. They'll send in some footage, B-roll, or even stills, and then we'll drop those in post-edit into their interview. So when they're talking about, say it's a bakery and they're talking about the great products they have, and we show images of the products that we add into the piece at the end. And then we blow it on TV. My show, All In with Bryan Weatherford, is Monday through Friday, 1 o'clock and 7 o'clock. And then the guests also have an opportunity to get a licensed link to the show, and they use it to blow out on social media because, as you know, video is king. Google loves video, so they get great professionally produced content media to continue to tell their story in their own way, even after we get them out on television. So. Folks, here on the show, we always feature a variety of businesses from all sorts of industries. And I've come to notice over the years we've been doing the show that regardless of the industry you're in, there are a lot of commonalities, if you will, between different types of business. Come on in. This is a podcast room. We do podcasts, radio, all sorts of stuff in here. Travis, this is Travis. He runs the show back here.
How's it going?
He does a little bit of everything. All over the country, right?
Yes.
Enough?
Yeah.
What's going on right now?
Right now, just
Lunch.
preparing shows, preparing segments to go on air, reruns, stuff like that.
So he kind
I'll
of
be editing episodes here in just a little bit.
Sure.
Doing recording around 3 for another show.
It's always something.
Yeah.
So he runs ground zero in here. So thank you, sir, for your
Awesome.
time.
Hi, Bryan.
Yep.
How you doing?
I'm great,
Sure,
man.
here.
Good to see you. Thanks for popping in.
Of course. Thanks for the tour, and I'm having fun here. So this show is called, I'm starting a new one.
It's
All In.
All In with Bryan Weatherford. And we came up with that name. It's kind of a play on words. I like to play poker. All right, All In's a term. But it works as an umbrella title for us because we're truly all into everything. We're all into community. We're all into small business. We're all into nonprofit groups. We're all into a little bit of everything, and we feature a variety of guests here on the show.
Nice. So what got you started into hosting your own show?
Funny story, and I'll tell it very quickly. I grew up, I'm born and raised right here in Arlington, Texas, okay? And so when you live in the same place for your whole life, you know a lot of people in a lot of areas, and you get a lot of stories. So there was a guy that had this show before me, Mark Jokel, and at that time it was pretty much a Facebook Live show. And Mark had me on several times just as a guest to come in and talk about stuff.
Yeah.
And so Mark took a new job here in Arlington with Arlington Music Hall at the time and had to leave rather abruptly. And then the owners were stuck with a TV show without a host. And they called me in to see if I'd like to host the show, and I said I don't have time to do it. I'm doing a lot of other things. And they said, well, we appreciate that, but if you could just come in on Monday. This was on a Friday. Come in on Monday. We're going to have you as a guest anyway. Think about it over the weekend. We can talk some more next week. I said, great. So I came in on Monday to be a guest with Mark. I'm sitting in the guest chair. Mark's here. Camera comes up. Mark said, hey, welcome back to the Mark Jokel Show. Look, it's our old buddy Bryan. You know Bryan. He's funny. Been in Arlington his whole life like me. He knows everybody. Has a lot of great stories. And get a good look at Bryan because I just took a new job down the street with the music hall. Bryan's going to be our new host. He'll be right back with his first guest. Okay, that's how I started the job.
Wow.
Yeah, kind of literally got thrown into it. But I truly do love people, and that's all we do here on my show, the whole Biz TV network, and our parent company, Center Post Media. We're all about content marketing.
Yeah.
And down on my level, it's simply to let people share the story of their business, and that's what we do.
Wow. So what were you doing before you became
Sure.
a TV show host?
Well, again, I've been born and raised here in Arlington. My background is entertainment business, hospitality. So I used to run all the putt-putt golf courses around here. Actually played professional putt-putt at one time. I don't have time to get into that part of my career today. But in a nutshell.
You know what? In another episode of this, I challenge you to putt-putt.
Well, you're on. You don't want to do that. I'm telling you as my friend, you don't want to do that. So people, it's funny, I'll tell them I used to play professional putt-putt, and they'll say, did you really? And I'm like, look, dude, if I was going to lie about something, that ain't it. I was a fighter pilot, or I'm a 5th degree black belt. It wasn't the big pickup line of choice back in the day. Say, hey, baby, I play some pro putt-putt. So I really did. But I ran all the putt-putts. Then I went to work for Wet n Wild. Hurricane Harbor used to be Wet n Wild. Worked my way up through the ranks with them. Left, went to work. I was the first marketing director for Sundance Square. The Basses hired me away because they wanted to promote Sundance Square as an entertainment entity. Hung around there for a while, left, got back in the theme park business with SeaWorld. Anheuser-Busch owned all the SeaWorlds at the time, Busch Entertainment Corporation. Worked for them, then went to work back in Arlington for a company, actually it's the Bowling Proprietors Association of America. It's a trade association for bowling. And so I was a marketing guy for the bowling industry. And then started my own company about 18 years ago, where All In Promotions, which by the way, All In, I kind of brand myself, all right? My promotional products company. So I do logo, tchotchke stuff, hats and shirts and koozies and keychains and all that. But I've always had a hankering to talk on a microphone. And one of my favorite things I do, I'm an auctioneer, strictly for nonprofit events.
Let me hear your auctioneer.
And so, that's the thing. We all go to these black tie galas and they bring in the real auctioneer. That's very impressive, but if you don't buy cows for a living, you don't know what's going on, and it intimidates people, and they sit on their hands, afraid they're going to scratch their face and bid on a trip to Cabo. So I get up there, and I'm not that guy. I'm more entertaining and loosen people up. But at the end of the day, they bid a lot of money. We've raised.
So you're the opening act.
I'm the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
We've raised over $4.5 million to date for nonprofit groups. So I strictly get up there and I play people off of each other. I might say, all right, sir, you're in at $1,000, maybe going to 15, going to 50. Okay, you guys put your money together. You'll never outbid this guy by yourself, but we don't want him to win. Get your money. Hey, now they're at 15, sir, they're picking on you. You're going to take that. Let's go. Let's get it to 2,000. So friendly camaraderie, but it works. And we've raised a lot of money for a lot of groups. And I take a lot of pride in that.
Now, I don't want to have the full interview here because I'm going to have you on Trent Trouble Live.
I'd love that.
In the future.
Yeah.
Hopefully very soon.
I'll leave a bullet in the chamber then.
Oh, yeah. We'll put a pin in it right there. But thank you enough for having me come in.
Thank you for popping in. It's fine. I've been keeping up with your stuff online, man.
Yeah.
You do really good work.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I've been, I started my podcast as a complete, I'm bored and I'll record something.
Yeah.
And I've never thought it would grow to where it's at right now.
It's very impressive.
And it's not over yet. We're gonna keep going. My goal is to get, you know, select those high end,
Sure.
like Brad Pitt, and
Right.
You know.
Well, I think you just made a major step getting me on the show.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah,
how,
absolutely.
how much further could Brad Pitt be?
Oh, yes, he's like, he's actually below you.
Actually, Brad couldn't make it, so I'm standing in today. That's what I'm going to run with. But,
There you go.
But in all seriousness, I thought it was kind of neat because we kind of discovered each other online,
We
which is
did.
the way the world goes these days. And we were actually at an event the other night and ran into each other. I'm like, I know that guy.
I know you.
And
Because I saw you walk by and I said,
Yeah.
that's my friend Bryan.
Yeah.
And my parents were like, who?
Who?
And I was like,
Who's Bryan?
Bryan Weatherford, all in.
You know, he's going to get me to Brad Pitt. You know
yeah,
that
he's
guy.
going to give you to Brad Pitt.
So yeah, well, consider me your Kevin Bacon.
Of
I'll
course.
do what I can do with
Of course.
my 6 degrees.
Thank you. Again, thank you for letting me come in.
Thanks for
and
coming in. I appreciate
tour
it.
the studio.
Pretty cute, isn't it?
Oh, it's cute.
Yeah. Well, I look forward to coming to see yours live and in person.
Oh, yeah. We don't have a studio yet. We're building one, though.
We hang out in the broom closet, and you just give me a camera and a microphone, and magic things happen.
That's right.
Okay.
All right.
You good?
I'm good.
Thanks for popping in.
Of course.